Okay, so this is part 2 of the butterfly video, and for the wings I'm going to be using a color from Glam and Glitz, which is actually called Butterfly, so haha, the world makes sense again. And so let's get started. I'm going to pick up a fairly large size ball of acrylic. Actually, it's really more of a medium. I'm using a size 8 brush, so it's not too terribly big. And I need one side of the wing to be a little bit bigger than the other. So I'm actually going to double up on that side. I'm going to let that kind of just rest there for a second. Go ahead and pick up the bead for the bottom part of the wing. And attach it right on. You can kind of see it's already starting to sort of form a shape. You want to drop the beads in such a way that it, you don't have to do too much. Notice I haven't played a whole lot with the first 2 beads that I dropped down. Okay, so I've put the second part. Now I'm gonna go back to the first part, which should be setting a little bit, and I'm just gonna start cleaning up the sides. I'm gonna flatten my brush out so that it has a nice edge to it, and with the edge I'm gonna create that indent in the top of the wing. Go back and make the spine of the wing nice and straight. And now my bottom bead is also starting to set, so I can go and start working that in as well. Notice it's not slipping and sliding everywhere. I've waited for the bead to set enough so that it has sort of a polymer clay consistency to it. I can kind of play with it and it doesn't, melt around everywhere. My brush is a little dry because I've been playing with the acrylic for a second, so just go back in, dip your brush, moisten it up so that you can play with the acrylic. Okay, now it looks like it's getting about to the shape that I want. And now I can go in and just press it out, give it a nice shape. And I know this might be a little bit difficult to see because I'm using a clear, kind of acrylic glitter for this, but I will try to show you guys if you can see there. It's got a fairly nice shape to it. And I'm going to go back in and just add a little bit more acrylic to the already existing wing to give it just a little bit more thickness, because this is going to be standing up on the nail, and so if you were to be wearing it, you don't want the wing to be so thin that it's gonna break when you change your clothes or for any little movement. And not too much, because you also don't want it to be super thick. You want it to look nice. So there we go. Just go back in and put a little bit of acrylic, and that's actually all you're going to do to make the wing. So that is the basic shape of the wing. If you have trouble with what should the wing look like, things like that, when I first went in and did this, I just looked up a picture of a butterfly on the internet and looked at the picture while I was sculpting it, just to kind of get an idea of what I wanted it to look like. So now I'm going to go in again with my fine detail brush from Stylish Mom and my black Presto gel, and that's what I'm going to use to do the detail of the wing. And we are now playing the waiting game. It's still drying off a little bit, so in the meantime, back to my nails. I had showed you guys earlier Buff Monster. On my thumb, it's hard to tell, I guess, because I'm recording this in a mirror version, but I have an open neon sign, upside down, I guess. Anywho, that didn't work out too well. Back to nails. Alright, so now that it's dried, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to do the detailing on the wing. Just take your black, outline the edges. Truthfully, you can do whatever pattern you want, whatever detail you want to add to it. I had originally, again, I went to the picture that I had looked up and just kind of followed along with the pattern that the natural butterfly had. And that's what I used. I've done it a couple of times now, so I don't have the picture up and open, but I'm still going by that same pattern. I know it might be a little bit hard to see what I'm doing, but I'm just creating nice little swirl patterns, make it nice and symmetrical. Just really easy. A lot of intensity again. Sorry for the quiet. And I'm actually almost done, if you can kind of see that right there. Add just a few more details. Oops, that line is like ridiculously thick. I'm gonna need to clean that up. Everything else is coming out pretty nice and thin. It's all in how much pressure you put on the brush when you're drawing, which is what I've kind of come to find out after doing this for so much time. I used to think that it was, oh my gosh, I have to find the most expensive brush and the best brush, was obviously better quality brushes are going to give you better results, but I've seen really amazing people do super amazing work with the brush that comes in the dollar store bottle. So at the end of the day, it's really just how you're using it. Okay, and so now you can see there is that wing done. And so we would pop this in the lamp, put a top coat, flip it over, put it on your peg so that you can do the other side. For the purposes of this video, I actually already made the two wings. So here are the two wings made. So you would repeat that process until you have the two wings made. And now I've got the original base again that we had did our butterfly on. Remember, I told you I'm going to put the top coat and then buff that out. So that's what's done there. And now I'm going to take some clear acrylic, and that's what we're going to use to actually stand up the butterfly wings. So let me show you that now. Okay, I've picked up my bead of clear, and I'm going to place it right along the body of the caterpillar. Just kind of move it, and I want it to be fairly thick. So I'm going to just kind of shift it so that again it's lining up with the caterpillar, but look at how thick that bead is, okay, because that's what I'm going to stand the wing up in. Okay, I'm going to take my wing and then I'm going to just gently press it into the acrylic. Wait for the acrylic to set so that it's hard enough to actually give it the height that you want. And then once it's set, you can actually go back in with a wet brush and just kind of pick away at some of the excess acrylic, because we're going to go back in when we're all done pressing the wings in and put some builder gel to hold that in place. So there we go. I've removed the excess that was in the middle so that, you know, it's not unattractive. Okay, and we're going to repeat the same process for the other side. Okay, I've got my bead of acrylic. Hope you guys can see this okay. I'm going to take it and I'm going to just line it up next to the body of the caterpillar. See, it's a little bit more dispersed than I would like it to be right now. So I'm just going to take my brush and gently push that in. Now it's nice and high, ready for me to press the wing into it. Okay, and I'm going to take that and just push. And I might have pushed a little bit too hard, so I'm just going to push it up from the back. Make sure that the wing's not laying down, because that's not the effect that I want. I want it to look like it's flying or well resting on the nail. And you have a little bit of time once you place it to kind of adjust the wing to how you want it. And I'm just taking off, like I said, that excess acrylic in the middle from when I pushed in the wing, so that it will be aesthetically pleasing. Under the wing, I'm not so concerned with, because that's where I want it to be A, reinforced, and B, you're not really going to see that part. Sorry about that. Okay, and there is that nail done. So at this point, I would just take some builder gel, put builder gel around it, and that is that wing done. I hope you guys liked this video. There we go. That might give me a better angle to show you guys. If you guys decide to try this or any variation of it, please feel free to tag me in your pictures. My Instagram is fancyfingers3D nail art. Enjoy!